One.
Yep, I haven't seen
I'm trying to get my ballot up.
them. Like I've heard them all at least mentioned. And then I've heard about like 3 of them.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them all. I mean, I could tell you what they're all about. I haven't seen any of them.
The Best Picture nominees?
Yeah.
I've seen 1, 2, 3 of them.
Well, Dan is officially winning.
And you win the best viewer because I've seen other.
I did also have easy access to screeners this year, so.
Also, it's sad that I got second place in best viewer for having seen one of them.
Yeah, I wanted to see Imitation Game and Selma.
I saw two.
See, but I'm almost being the anti-Oscar person because I've been to the movies twice in the past week, and I could have gone to. There were still a couple of them out in theaters. I could have gone to see one of them. What did I go see? Hot Tub Time Machine 2 and The Kingsman: The Secret Service.
To be fair, I am planning to go see in the theaters next weekend when I'm not dead anymore. Jupiter Ascending again. Oh yes, space werewolf rollerblading angel.
Well, I saw Big Hero 6 3 times.
Nice.
Twice in the dollar
Which is up
theater.
for best animated, so you at least get something.
It's true.
I get some.
Now here's my question, Patrick. Do you want our picks for who we want to win or our picks for who we think will win? Because those are 2 different categories.
Who we think? I mean, just go with your gut, because I kind of for some I picked who I thought would win, and for one category I picked for who I would want to win.
See, I can give you 2 answers. They're almost never the same answer. But I was just having this conversation with my roommate about the fact that this year's Oscar grouping is just so meh compared to even like the low standards I already have for the Oscars. But isn't it like there are no movies that are like woohoo? It's just so
None of these movies were movies that I was like, oh, I definitely want to see those in theater. Because for the first time in ever, actually, this winter, I saw every movie in theater that I was like, oh, I really want to see that in theater. And granted, most of those were not movies that I thought were going to get picked for the Oscars, but still, usually there's some overlap.
I know, and like, I mean, it's also looking at all the movies this year that didn't get nominated for any Oscars, and you sort of start going, hey, all of the movies that didn't get picked are movies that are about women or not white people. Funny thing.
I've seen 3 of the 5 animated feature film nominees.
But like,
so maybe good year for
not
animated.
nominated for anything. Beyond the Lights was not nominated for anything. Big Eyes was not nominated for anything. Selma got snubbed in the 2 categories that actually most deserve to be nominated, Best Director and Best Actor. And it like, what? It just blows my mind. Like, why? Why is this?
I know everyone this year is talking about not what movies are in the Oscars, but what movies aren't. That seems to be...
Like, Nightcrawler didn't get nominated for anything?
Yeah, it did. It got nominated for Screenplay.
Oh.
Yeah. And, like, I think Sound also.
Again.
I have to say that, like, the only one that I'm excited about the nominations is Whiplash, because I love the shit out of that movie. I thought it was awesome, and Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons were fucking brilliant in it. So that was the one that I saw the trailer for, and I was like, I have to go see this movie in theaters. So I did twice, and it was amazing.
That's how I felt about Selma. Was I saw the trailer and I was like, oh yeah, oh I am watching this so hard.
The only one that I'm still up in the air about, really, is Best Adapted Screenplay, because I want Whiplash to win, but I have a feeling something else is going to win.
Well, I guess my biggest problem is that so many of the movies in the Best Picture pool are basically great man narratives. I mean, even Whiplash, which is completely fictional, and about a young man, but it still falls into that great man narrative. That narrative of like one man with a drive to do something amazing. And it's like they're all like that.
Yeah, but Whiplash, I mean, to defend Whiplash a little bit, it's more about, like, psychological torture and, like, over dedication to a medium. Like, it's actually a bit darker than that.
Right, and admittedly, Birdman is slightly more complex as well, but at the same time, they are both stories about white guys who do something really, really well, and the deep and meaningful emotional torture that they inflict on other people because they do that thing so damn well.
Yeah.
How far down the list are we going?
Let's just, we'll start at the top. We'll do Best Picture, actors, actress, and we'll see if we have time. We'll get down to the rest of the categories.
Part of me wishes we would have done the thing a little bit earlier, so we could have thrown in Razzie awards at the same time to balance it out.
Well, the Razzies, I saw those awards already, and I'm just so happy that Kirk Cameron wept the Razzie.
Yeah.
He wept or he swept?
Swept.
Okay, because I was like, we have footage of Kirk Cameron crying.
Saving Christmas won every award he was nominated for.
Yeah,
if there was footage of Kirk Cameron weeping, I would watch it continuously.
I don't think he can weep. He's got that creepy permanent smile on it. He's like the Joker. It's just like
like that.
His face is permanently in a creepy smile, like, "Hi, I'm a Christian, and I'm a good person, and I'm friendly, and I'm probably gonna murder people in their sleep."
Well, my favorite thing about it though was that he won Worst Screen Combo, and it was the nomination of Kirk Cameron and his ego in Saving Christmas, which I thought was amazing. But also equally good was Kellan Lutz. Which the nomination was Kellan Lutz and either his abs, his pecs, or his glutes in The Legend of Hercules, because that just sounds like a Cards Against Humanity card.
Yeah. It does. Okay, so our pick for the winner of Best Picture?
Best Picture.
Like, who we think is actually going to win. Can you read me the nominees again?
The nominees are American Sniper, Birdman, Boyhood, The Grand Budapest Hotel, The Imitation Game, Selma, The Theory of Everything, and Whiplash.
I think that I want Selma to win so bad, but I think that Boyhood or Theory of Everything is going to win.
I have Boyhood.
I'm gonna go with Imitation Game.
Really?
I don't know. I didn't see any of these, and I feel like... Hold on, it won't let me do the thing on the website.
See, my logic is, in a battle between Alan Turing and Stephen Hawking, people are gonna go Stephen Hawking. It's more...
That's true.
Like, those movies are so ridiculously similar. They really are.
I really didn't like The Theory of Everything that much. I found out that I'm in the minority on that one, but I was just bored most of the time, honestly. I was not very engaged in that movie.
I think The Theory of Everything is more for its acting, because Eddie Redmayne apparently does a really good job of getting Stephen Hawking down. And
I have opinions about that though, because like the way that the movie was marketed was right up my alley, where it was going to be like this love triumphs over all, kind of like he's degenerating, she's going to stay with him no matter what. And then the movie is not that at all. And I didn't know the situation between Stephen Hawking and his wife at the time going into the movie. But then when Charlie Cox shows up, I'm like, oh, cool, Daredevil's in this movie. And then it slowly turns into like the real life story of Stephen Hawking and his wife, and I was just like, wow, this is not the movie I expected it to be at all.
Yeah.
And then at the end, I was also a little upset. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Debbie. But like at the end, I was a little upset because there's this moment, and they start using that song from that Neil deGrasse Tyson "We Stop Dreaming" YouTube video, and I was just like, I'm out. Like I couldn't take it anymore. It just totally ruined it for me. So.
No, I like the fact that there was more emphasis on Felicity Jones' character, as wife.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, there wasn't enough emphasis on her. Like, from what I know of it, I didn't go see it because, quite frankly, I just didn't want to. Like, it just did not. Actually, it's funny, Dan, you're saying, like, you saw the trailer and it looked like a love triumphs over all thing. I saw that same trailer and I also thought that, and then I thought, and I'm never going to watch it. But, yeah, no, it didn't look good. But from what I've read about it, it's that while her character is more developed than she would have been in most other versions of the narrative, she's still not developed enough to actually qualify as a person. And so,
I mean, I guess to be fair, like a lot of the, I don't know, because it is definitely marketed as more of like the movie of Stephen Hawking, you know,
Yeah.
like him and his wife and the things they had to go through as he degenerated into his illness. But I mean, I don't know if I want to spoil it or if anybody cares, but like it really focuses a bit more from her perspective, and like, I mean, it doesn't give it to her completely. I will totally agree to that. But like, it definitely spends a lot more time with like her battling her desire to stay and be loyal to her husband versus being happy with somebody else.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think that it's not her story single-handedly, but I think that the movie is actually based off of her book or her memoirs or something like that. So I'm not justifying it completely as like, no, you're totally wrong. It's absolutely her movie, because it's really not her movie. But they spend a lot more time. The one thing I did like about it was her, and because she is a developed character. And I feel like such a dick about it, though, but I don't think Eddie Redmayne was that great because he's in the wheelchair like by sequence 3 or 4, and it's just like, I don't know. I have issues with that, but that's just me.
Well, what do we all think of Boyhood? Because I think 3 out of 4 of us decided to choose that one as the best picture.
Well, yeah, I mean, what was your pick? You guys haven't actually said your picks.
I chose Boyhood.
I picked Boyhood.
Dan also said Boyhood.
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth, you were Imitation Game.
I was going to go with Imitation Game, and I don't know. I think I will still go with that one. Just
bear in mind, I'm on a lot of medication right now, so.
I just think that like Boyhood's going to win either picture or directing, and I think that the 50-50 split is if Boyhood wins Best Picture, Birdman is going to win directing. But it's going to go the other way. If it's Birdman wins picture, Boyhood's going to win directing. And it's only because they're like sort of technical achievements in and of themselves. So.
I gave directing also to Boyhood, but for Birdman, I think cinematography is where it's going to win.
I'm amazed that it is not nominated for editing, personally. Like, everybody, you know, the big gimmick of the movie is it's supposed to look like one shot. And
that's
does.
Why getting cinematography, because that takes a lot of effort to make that, to pull that off. And
so.
I do think Boyhood is going to win Best Director, and my reason actually, because I've also heard amazing things about the directing in Birdman, but my logic is actually that it's a weird movie. Hollywood doesn't like weird movies. They make them uncomfortable, especially weird movies which deal with, you know, egomania relating to being an actor.
Yeah.
So it didn't strike me as super likely that Birdman's going to win any of the big awards because it makes people uncomfortable, and it's a weird movie.
Well, he did win the Golden Globe, so.
Right, but the Golden Globes are like the weird, cool aunt of the
And they
Oscars.
are the foreign press as well.
Right.
So
And that's worth noting as well. Like, yeah, yeah. So,
Them Europeans liked it.
that is my one big fear, that American Sniper wins Best Picture. I haven't seen it, but I just do not want that movie to win Best Picture.
I won't have a problem if it wins Best Picture. I just don't think it will because Eastwood has already won an Oscar, and I
That's
think
fair.
that was against him. I'm not gonna say. I mean, I'm not gonna say American Sniper is a good or bad movie. I haven't seen it, and I almost don't want to say if it's a good or bad movie because I don't want people like judging me based on my opinion about a movie.
you're on the internet. People are already judging you.
It's true.
No, it seems like there's been such furor over that movie. Like, if you liked it, oh, you're a pro-war psycho. You just want blood. If you didn't like it, you're anti-American. It's like, it's a movie. I don't want my entire identity be wrapped up based on what I thought of a movie.
Actually, well, then
Imagine if any other movie this happened to.
well, that happens all the time.
You didn't like Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, what are you, anti-American?
No, but Patrick, like, seriously, okay, actually, no, I'll put it this way. Hey, Patrick,
Mm-hmm.
do you know what it's like expressing an opinion as a woman on the internet every
Oh,
day?
believe me, I totally know.
Just saying.
Because I've seen women do it, and I've seen what's happened to them. Okay, I'm not trying to take them.
I'm just saying, being afraid to express an opinion because you're afraid that an angry mob is going to jump down your throat. Gosh, I have no idea what that feels like.
Yeah, it says Debbi, who actually does express opinions. on the
Debbie
internet.
actually does express her opinions in order to get an angry mob to jump down her throat.
On American Sniper, having not seen it, I don't think I would like American Sniper because there are no aliens in it. In all honesty, like, it's just so not a movie I would watch in any circumstances. I have tried to watch The Hurt Locker, and I can't. Because it's just so bleh.
Mm.
There's no time travel or aliens or unicorns, and Jeremy Renner's cool, but I can't just stare at his white face for the entire movie and go, yeah, I guess it must be rough being you, I assume.
Yeah, but like over 2/3 of the movie, he's with Anthony Mackie, and like that's a huge component of that movie is their relationship. Huh?
I really just can't watch that movie. Like, I just loses me every time.
I didn't mind it that much. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't think it was as good as it was hyped up to be, but I thought that it was still pretty good.
I also don't think it'll win because of one critical factor: fake baby.
Yeah, that's true.
I have seen Fake Baby.
Yes.
Fake Baby kind of made me giggle a lot.
I think that one glaring error has kind of like even people who loved that movie will admit that that's like the one error of the film.
How do you make her like that? How does that happen? Like,
here's how it happens. It's very emblematic of Clint Eastwood's style of directing, which is get the shot, get out. He doesn't like to do a lot of takes. He doesn't like to spend a lot of time looking for the right lighting or the right emotional tone. It's just get the shot and get out. So what happened was baby number 1 was sick. Baby number 2 didn't answer the call saying like, hey, baby number 1 is sick. Can you come to set? Like, they just didn't answer the call. So instead of deciding to wait until baby number 1 got better or baby number 2 showed up, Clint Eastwood said, get the doll. We'll do the shot now. And that's honestly what it was. It was he didn't want to wait, which I think is very emblematic of his directing in general, which is that he's not a particularly patient guy. And I think that is really the problem a lot of people have with American Sniper, is that it feels like a narrative that wasn't really handled in a thoughtful enough way to make it a movie that is a classic. Because as a lot of people pointed out, there's actually room for this movie to be a really good meditation on the vagaries and gray areas of the war in Iraq. Like, the fact that this character is so controversial actually could have been an asset for the movie. It could have been a good way of examining the way that we as a culture are really uncomfortable with the war, and the way that we don't really know how to treat returning veterans, especially ones who we want to respect because they're veterans, but they espouse problematic views. In the hands of a different director who really wanted to explore those gray areas more instead of just getting the shot and getting out, it probably could have been a much stronger movie.
I've talked to my aunt about it a little bit because she went and saw it, and then she was pretty disappointed in it because the movie is based off of a book, correct? Or,
yes.
I mean, yeah.
It's based off of his memoirs.
Yeah, and the thing about it that she didn't like is that my aunt is a fairly religious person, and apparently they just glazed over pretty much all of his religious convictions, and like a big part of his story was his reconciling what he had done with his religion, I guess, and that happened apparently after where the movie takes place. So they basically cut a huge chunk of the story off of the end for the movie, and apparently that's upsetting people as well, like the Christian fans that went to go see it specifically for like this tale of a man and his faith and all that stuff. So I think, I mean, that's obviously a screenwriting choice and not a directing choice, but yeah, I haven't seen it yet, so I can't really make a distinction on my own.
I'm probably never going to see it, in all honesty.
I'll probably see it at some point just to see it, but I mean, I'll wait for Bradley Cooper to be in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 before I see this again. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of more fun
It's
things to watch Bradley Cooper do, including making out with Betty White on the SNL 40th anniversary. Did no one else watch that? Hilarious.
Next category. Best Actor.
I picked Michael Keaton.
Hey,
I
Debbi.
want David Oyelowo to win.
What was that?
David Oyelowo.
Oh.
He is not nominated.
I know, it's a travesty.
Of the white men nominated to win, I guess I want Steve Carell
Two
to
of them
win.
are British, so.
I guess I want Steve Carell to win, but I think that Eddie Redmayne is going to win.
Okay.
Based on what you guys have said, I kind of think Eddie Redmayne's going to win, too.
He seems like a favorite, honestly. I mean,
Yeah, no up about him.
The Theory of Everything has gotten a lot of praise, but the only reason I picked Michael Keaton is because I love him and he won the Golden Globe, which I know we already established is different, but at the same time, it can be like a good barometer for what the Academy is going to do.
Yeah.
I think it's going to go to Bradley Cooper.
Really?
Not necessarily because of American Sniper, but because he's done a lot. But I think this might be one of those career Oscars they kind of give. You know?
Who is?
Too early for a career Oscar.
I don't know.
I mean, like, is this like an apology Oscar? Like, we should have given you an Oscar for Silver Linings Playbook. Or
Yeah.
for American Hustle, but you weren't in a David Fincher movie this year, so...
I think this is going to be kind of like when Scorsese won for The Departed. It's like, you know, you've done a lot of great work, and we didn't give you an Oscar for that, so we're going to give you an Oscar for this.
30 years after he started doing work like that.
Who is this we're talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. I forgot already.
Bradley Cooper?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No,
I
it's
think
way
he's
too
gonna
early
win
for Bradley
that.
Cooper to get a career Oscar. Way too early for him to get an apology Oscar. And for the record, if we're going for apology Oscars, why has Leo not won one yet?
Well, he can't win this year. He wasn't nominated.
Who wasn't? I'm sorry, a video popped up in my feed.
If anyone's going to earn an apology Oscar...
That's very true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he might end up being one of those, like, here's an Oscar because you're going to die soon. It'll be another 30 years. Okay, actress.
I picked Felicity Jones.
All right, Debbi? Debbi? Okay. Elizabeth?
I don't know, because I haven't seen any of these movies. But again, I've just been making guesses without having seen them. How about... I kind of want to say Felicity Jones, too. It just seems likely.
I gotta look at the rest of the nominees again really quick.
Maybe... Rosamund Pike, because that movie got a lot of press.
Rosamund Pike is my choice because I saw Gone Girl and loved it. Gone Girl was my favorite movie of the year.
I still haven't seen that, which I need to because I love Fincher movies. But my backup choice is Julianne Moore for Still Alice because she got a lot of praise for that.
I think Julianne Moore is almost definitely going to win. I'm not saying she should win. I'm just saying that she's almost definitely going to win. She has the most publicized role. She also has one of the most unambiguous leads. Like, it's pretty much her and Reese Witherspoon in terms of definitely the lead. Because Rosamund Pike is clearly sharing the movie. Felicity Jones is clearly sharing the movie, and I don't remember who the other person is.
Marion Cotillard.
Oh, Marion Cotillard is in a French film that no one's seen. So.
2 days, 1 night.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
It's about a French woman who, her bosses at the factory decide to eliminate her position and try and convince all of her coworkers to cover her work, in exchange for like $100 each, and like just make her position redundant. So she has 2 days and 1 night to find all of them and convince all of them not to vote to eliminate her position. So it's basically just raging anti-capitalism. So I approve of it on an ideological level, but I don't think it's going to win.
And for me, Rosamund Pike is
I think Rosamund Pike is amazing, and I think that she really did an awesome job in that movie. I don't think she's going to win, though. It's her first time being nominated, and it definitely seems like she'll probably get nominated again.
Yeah.
And she's up against Julianne Moore.
That's true. Oh.
Julianne Moore.
Best Supporting Actor.
Well, I want Mark Ruffalo to win because he's wonderful and I love him.
I want Mark Ruffalo to win, too.
I picked J.K. Simmons because Whiplash was my favorite movie of the year.
I think J.K. Simmons is more likely to win than Mark Ruffalo. I think Edward Norton also might win. It is kind of funny that we have 2 of the 3 Hulks nominated this year.
That is funny.
In the same category.
Yeah. Where the hell is Eric Bana? Come on, man.
To be fair,
I liked Ed Norton in Birdman, but at like most of the movie, I was just like, Edward Norton's just playing himself. So that's why I don't. If he does win, I would be surprised because I was just like, you're just Edward Norton.
Yeah, I mean he's a great actor, but it's like he should get an award for when he's being a great actor, not just being himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still think Edward Norton. Like, I mean, J.K. Simmons might win, but they also might see his Golden Globe as being sufficient for him and vote for somebody else. That one's rough. It's kind of a thin field, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, the judge wasn't particularly good, and Robert Duvall was fine in it.
Yeah, but Robert Duvall basically got nominated because he was in a movie.
Yeah. I haven't seen Boyhood, so I don't know anything about Ethan Hawke in that. But like I said, Ed Norton in Birdman was basically just Edward Norton. I know that I think Mark Ruffalo and J.K. Simmons are the two most deserving out of the field for sure, because they actually had to act in their movie. Well, the out of the ones that I've seen, so. Yeah, I'm sure that Ethan Hawke didn't do too much acting. He just showed up over 12 years. So.
Yeah.
Though, if that to supporting actress, I think Patricia Arquette has that on a lock.
Yeah, that was my pick.
Like, I would be shocked if she did not win.
Yeah. That's a career Oscar to me. Like, that's one that they're going to give to her because of that reason, in my opinion.
Career Oscar, and also, like, no one can argue that she didn't do an amazing job.
Yeah, she's the most talked about actor in the film besides the kid. So
I would say more than the kid.
Yeah, I mean, I only have heard a little bit about it, but I know a lot of people have been saying that she's great. So
yeah. So yeah, definitely people talk about her way more than they talk about Ethan Hawke, which I think is interesting.
I had forgotten Ethan Hawke was even in the movie because I've heard so little about him in that.
Yeah.
I mean, it has really been about the kid more.
Yeah.
Just because, like, we filmed him over 12 years. Elizabeth, what do you think?
For actress in supporting role?
Yes.
Meryl Streep, because Meryl Streep.
That is a valid argument.
That may not be likely at all, but that's pretty much my reasoning.
That's the safe bet. That's the safe money.
That is the safe bet.
I don't think it is, though. Because no one necessarily wants to reward Into the Woods. Like, again, it's Meryl Streep pretty much got nominated for being in a movie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if anyone really wants to get the Into the Woods on them.
It does almost feel like, you know, the Academy was like, okay, we need another name for... Oh, Meryl Streep, okay. What movie was she in? Okay. Meryl Streep.
Well, and the worst thing is, though, that the Academy and, like, other awards shows are known for doing that. There's an incident at the Emmys a couple years ago where this, like, great actress won Best Guest Actress on, like, a TV show for 30 seconds. She was on screen for 30 seconds, and she won basically because she was the only name on the list that the voters recognized. That happens all the
Terrible. That's terrible.
Yes.
It does.
It totally happens all the time. Why do you think David Oyelowo and Ava DuVernay can't get nominated? Oh, yeah, because everyone's afraid that they're going to mispronounce their names.
We're going to have another Adele Dazeem incident. And I chose Emma Stone just because Emma Stone.
I'd be cool if Emma Stone won it. That'd be pretty
I
rad.
want Emma Stone to win something because I like Emma Stone.
But again, I think that's sort of like Bradley Cooper, where they're just going to look at her and be like, yeah, we got time. Like,
yeah. I mean, I also just don't think that she did that much in that movie. She was great in it, but like if you're going to win an Academy Award, like in my opinion, like you should maybe earn it, and I don't think that was the movie that they particularly earned it in. So.
Okay. Best animated movie.
I think that Big Hero 6 is going to win.
That's what I picked.
Okay, that's pretty much a sweep then, because I think Elizabeth, you said Big Hero 6.
Well, yeah, I saw it 3 times. I really like Big Hero 6. I think it will win. The Tale of Princess Kaguya was really good and very artistic, and so I would not be surprised if that one won. But I think it's going to be Big Hero 6.
I also think that Lego Movie. Just saying.
Which is not nominated.
Not nominated, yeah.
Basically, that's the story of my Oscar picks this year, is that nothing I like was nominated, except for Selma, and, again, barely.
Yeah. All right, so then I guess we can just go right on to cinematography.
I don't care.
I didn't even really pick who was. Let's
I guess
see.
Birdman.
Cinematography.
Birdman.
Birdman, Grand Budapest Hotel, Ida, Mr. Turner, and Unbroken. I would have to say it's either Birdman or Grand Budapest. From what I know, I haven't seen Ida or Mr. Turner, but I heard Unbroken was just terrible.
Actually, well, I've heard good things about the cinematography in Mr. Turner from my mother this morning, but true story. She called me this morning and she wanted to talk about Mr. Turner. Maybe it was yesterday. I have lost all track of time. But and Ida, I have read good things about, especially about the way it's shot. But
what it is.
What?
I'm looking at. I don't even know what it is. I'm just looking at the Wikipedia
Ida
right now.
is a Polish movie about a young nun in like the 1960s who's about to take her orders. When they tell her she has to like track down her family because she was raised by the abbey, and she discovers that she's a Jew. And her parents were shot by their neighbor before the Nazis could even come for them because he wanted their farm. And so it's an entire story about like the reckoning that had to happen after World War II of people, Jews especially, living next door to people who sold them out and who murdered them. And like, how do you live with that as your past? So by all accounts, it's actually a really amazing movie.
I had to say that I think the most egregious nomination of everything that's actually up here is Interstellar for Best Sound Editing. That movie should not be nominated for anything involving the sound in that movie because it was terrible.
I think it should because I almost went deaf from that movie when I went to go see it in IMAX. Just like,
what did you say, Debbie?
I thought that the sound, but just the soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack is good.
I didn't notice anything about the sound editing, but I am partially deaf, so I just typically don't judge on sound editing.
I'm pretty happy, though, that Winter Soldier, Guardians, and X-Men Days of Future Past are all nominated for Best Visual Effects, though. I think those are all pretty good.
See, it's when we get into like these technical awards, then it's like, oh wow, I've actually seen these.
Oh, I have an opinion about whether or not Maleficent should win Best Costumes. Spoiler alert, it should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, also nominated bland costume dramas.
Well, Into the Woods, maybe.
What?
What category are we in now?
Costume design, Elizabeth.
We were doing cinematography, and now we're doing costume design.
Okay.
I think it's between Into the Woods and Maleficent, personally, but I haven't seen either of those movies. They just seem like the ones that are probably the most complex when it comes to their costumes.
Well, for whatever reason, the Academy really likes to give it to the period films. I don't know why, but they're always like, but it was so hard to replicate things that actually existed, as opposed to how hard it is to make things that have never existed.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I would go with Into the Woods or Maleficent too, though.
Maleficent, the costumes were just so good in Maleficent, like so good.
I went for Into the Woods.
I like Maleficent.
Just because Maleficent, I don't know, I liked Maleficent actually, but I don't know, I think Into the Woods just did a little bit bigger job, I guess.
I think Into the Woods is gonna win, but I want Maleficent to win.
Okay. Directing?
Did
we not do that already?
Yeah, we did.
I guess we did kind of do that when we were talking about Best Picture.
Mm-hmm.
Documentary, I don't care.
I haven't
I
seen
think
any of those.
Moore is gonna win documentary.
Yeah, that's what kind of I voted for, just out of the...
Finding Vivian Maier. The thing is, I've heard the most buzz about Citizen 4, which is why I think that might win, but like if they go for non-controversial, Finding Vivian Maier, like it's a compelling story and it makes you feel good about stuff. So, plus Vivian Maier is an amazing photographer, so.
Okay,
I like documentaries.
documentary short. I don't know.
Now we're getting into
Film
the stuff that I haven't even
It is.
heard of or have absolutely no opinion on.
Heard of it either.
Okay, film editing. I'll give it to Boyhood.
Well, who else is
Foreign
nominated?
language.
Oh, for editing, I picked Whiplash, but again, I love that movie, and I think that has like the best pacing.
It's Boyhood, Whiplash. Who else is nominated for editing?
Imitation Game, Grand Budapest Hotel, and American Sniper.
Oh. I don't care. Boyhood.
Foreign language. I chose Tangerines because it's the only one I actually have heard of.
I chose Ida.
I haven't seen these. I don't know.
Yeah.
Makeup and hairstyling. I did Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, also Leviathan I heard really good.
Makeup and hairstyling, I did Foxcatcher because of the same reason that Debbi was talking about for costumes, because it's a period piece. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they make Steve Carell look just so weird.
Yeah, and like Mark Ruffalo, they had to do a bunch of stuff with, like, he had his head basically shaved or something, I think. So.
And whatever all they did with Channing Tatum's ears.
No, one of the I really love the comment from the Golden Globes that Tina Fey made about, like, you know, Steve Carell had to sit in a chair getting his prosthesis put on for 2 hours every morning to play his role in Foxcatcher, whereas it took a team of professionals 3 hours to prepare me for my role of being a human woman. So,
Music.
oh, well, you mean soundtrack?
Yeah, original score.
Original score. I have to say, actually, the Imitation Game score was really good. Interstellar score was really good too.
I haven't seen the Imitation Game, so I don't know, but I put down Interstellar because, like I said earlier, the fact that that song from that Neil deGrasse Tyson video was at the end of The Theory of Everything makes me really question what they qualify as original in a score. So,
Best original song.
Okay, so as much as it would make me deeply happy inside to see The Lonely Island get an Oscar, Glory is an amazing song. Like, it's a legitimately amazing song, and I really want it to win because it's amazing.
I haven't heard it. I should look it up.
I want Everything Is Awesome to win, just so maybe then that song will get out of my head.
It won't.
it won't. No, there's no way.
Shorts, I don't think I care. Let's just skip to basically the only important category for us, writing.
Writing.
Okay.
Good. We're all writers. And
Got the nominees, please, Patrick?
the nominees for Adapted Screenplay, American Sniper, The Imitation Game, Inherent Vice, The Theory of Everything, and Whiplash.
I think Whiplash. I think in this one they're going to give it writing.
That's what I picked, but I picked it mostly because of the controversy around it, like, as well as the fact that it's a really well-written movie, but I think that it's going to give it a little extra boost in the minds of the voters. So,
What controversy?
it is technically not an adapted screenplay.
Oh.
The film is loosely based on Damien Chazelle's experiences when he was in music school. And a couple of years ago, he was trying to get funding for the film, so he shot a short, which is a scene that's actually in the movie, but he shot it with J.K. Simmons and J.J. Simmons, and they won Best Short Film or something like that at Sundance a couple of years ago. But that was how they got the money to make the J.K. Simmons Miles Teller version, which came out this past year. But because the short already existed, the Academy qualified it as an adapted screenplay instead of an original screenplay, which is weird because there was precedent before this, for a very similar situation, and that script was nominated as an original. So people were kind of confused why it wouldn't get the original, but it's an adapted screenplay, apparently.
Almost as if the Academy is notoriously arbitrary.
Yeah, yeah.
Itchy. But yeah, I think Whiplash will win, honestly.
I went for The Theory of Everything.
I don't want to guess when I haven't seen any of them for the category of writing.
No, but you're not guessing based on what you think is the best writing. You're guessing based on what you think people in Hollywood will think is the best writing.
Yeah.
Different things.
And they're so arbitrary, as you just said. I feel like The Theory of Everything is just sounding really popular. But I don't... Yeah, I'm just gonna go with that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not holding, too hard to that.
And finally, we come to a Best Original.
And the nominees are?
And the nominees are...
I'll be right back to continue.
For the Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance.
Wait, what?
Birdman, or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. Boyhood, Foxcatcher, The Grand Budapest Hotel, Nightcrawler.
Grand Budapest Hotel. They're going to give Wes Anderson something. They're not going to give him anything else, but they'll give him something.
Yeah, I actually could agree with that, but I went for Foxcatcher.
Who wrote it?
It was written by E. Max Fry and Dan Futterman.
Elizabeth, your unformed, unbiased opinion?
My unformed, unbiased opinion.
Uneducated?
Uneducated? Yeah. My uneducated opinion would be... I kind of want to say the Grand Budapest Hotel. I don't think that's really that likely, but I want to say that.
Really? I think that's actually super likely.
Okay. Well, good. With your encouragement, I'm going to stick to that then.
Okay.
What was it?
Like Wes Anderson getting that definitely seems possible.
That was my pick as well. So.
Wow. So Grand Budapest Hotel is the odds-on favorite for the best original screenplay. Oh, okay. That I think wraps up our Oscar episode.
Right.
Yeah, I have to go either way because I just got a text message saying my date to my party is like 2 minutes away from the place that I'm not even at yet. So.
All right.
Oh.
You can go.
All right.
Your date. I'm gonna eat noodles on the
I think this is our last crossover appeal for a while. I don't think we're going to be doing these unless there's a big thing going on. So
Special occasions.
it has been an honor and a pleasure, my friends.
It is wonderful to know that there are over 100 hours of us arguing on
the internet.
All right. So, goodbye. Hope to see you all soon in some capacity.
All right. See you later.
Bye.